I hope that everybody's doing well today. In today's video, I'm sharing a story that only a select few know. A few years ago, you guys, I had an angelic experience, an experience that cannot be put into words. Let's go ahead and jump right in. So a few years ago, I went on a hike of my dream. I always wanted to visit Joshua Tree, California. So I drove out to Palm Springs, California. I went on a hike that I can't remember the name of, but I do know that it was really hot that day, about 95 degrees Fahrenheit. As I headed to the trail, I remember seeing people walking down. They were finishing up and they told me, enjoy. They said, but make sure that you hydrate up. And I said, yeah, I got water. I'm good. But I didn't realize how hot it was going to be. So what I saw as I was walking, I had a full thermos, but people had placed actual water jugs on the ground. Some of them were sitting in coolers, and some of them you could tell had been freshly placed because they were still icy cold. I walked past and I thought that's really dope and really cool. And I headed up. And as I headed up, I looked back. All the cars in the parking lot were gone. Not a car left. As I headed up into the mountain, you could feel the incline. I started to take a sip of my water, first few sips, and I put my thermos back on the side of my backpack. Within about 45 minutes in, I hadn't seen a single person as I'm going up. Then I remembered all the cars are gone, all the people had finished the hike. So I continued trekking up and I'm almost to the top. I knew that I would be at the top because when you're at the end of that hike, there's an archway. As I got closer up to the top, I remember feeling out of breath, not having much water left, but I made it. I said, that's the most important part. And all of a sudden I can hear voices. And I'm like, there are actually people up here? I thought there were no cars left. I get further around and I see a couple. This couple was probably about in their mid-50s. And they actually reminded me of my parents. Their names were Marty and Regina. They introduced they introduced themselves, and they asked me where I was from. And I let them know where I was from. They also let me know where they're from. They let me know that it was also their dream to always visit Joshua Tree National Park and to go on that same hike. We talked for a bit, and all of a sudden Regina looks at me and she smiles and she says, would you like your photo taken right here? And I said, yeah, for sure. And I'm gonna add the photo, you guys, to the end of this video. So after she took my photo, I asked her and also Marty if they wanted their photos taken. And they said, no, we're good. We've taken a lot of photos since we've been up here. They looked at me and they said, would you like some water? They said, we have a huge jug in our backpack, fresh and cold. And I said, yeah, for sure. That would be really great. So they gave me some of their water, filled up my thermos, and they said, thank you. And after that, I just remember chilling up there for a bit. They were also up there, you know, doing their thing, still enjoying. And then they let me know we're going to head back down. They said, we're going to be in front of you just by a little bit. So if you ever need anything, please shout out. Now, you guys, before I continue on with the rest of the story, I want to let you know that as you're heading down this hike, you can see everything in front of you because you're going back into the flatlands. So you're descending down the mountain and you're seeing all the horizon in front. There are no trees. There's no way that you can hide in any way, shape, or form. That's going to be something to remember as we go into this next part of the story. So they head in front of me and I get up and I walk slowly behind them as well. And they're pretty swift walkers. So they were going swift and smooth. And I'm going down and I remember them being in front of me. I could actually hear them, you know, laughing and still talking. And all of a sudden I said to myself, let me take out my cell phone to see if I have connectivity. Because I remember when I was first going up the hike, I did not have wireless access to my network. Just wanted to be curious and check. So I take out my phone, I look down, I see still no network. I say, cool. Pop my phone back in my pocket and I look up and Regina and Marty are gone. Completely disappeared. No voices, no laughing, nothing. I looked around. I could not see them. I even looked back where we were up, taking the pictures. They were not there. Now, once again, you guys, there is no way possible that you can actually see. There's no way possible that you could hide, is what I'm trying to say. No way possible at all. So at that moment, I'm sitting there in shock. And then I said to myself, if you want to make sure this actually happened, look back in your phone. Remember that picture that Regina took. I looked at my phone, the picture was there. And then all of a sudden, as I sat there, I heard Great Spirit say that there are always angels with you. Never forget that no matter where you are, when you think that you're running out of water, when you think that you're alone, when you believe that you're abandoned, there are always angels with you. There are always angels watching over you. That was a lesson for me that day, and that was an experience that I will never forget. For many years, I've kept that close to my heart, but I want to share that, guys, with you guys today. That story of mine, of an angelic experience in Joshua Tree National Park, California. Many blessings.